This is the second video covering the nonfiction text structure notes, and remember that you have access to these notes on Schoology. If you did not already download these notes yesterday, if you go into the Week 5 folder and go into today's folder, the same link is there so you can have access to the notes and either download them to your Google Drive or directly to your Chromebook so that you can use them on future assignments and even on the test. Now, yesterday we covered why we learn about text structure. We reviewed what nonfiction is, and we covered the first 3 types of text structures that we might see in nonfiction text. So today we are going to be picking up on the 4th type, argument support. So I'm going to scroll past what we learned yesterday. And if you missed yesterday's Google Meet, there is a video in yesterday's folder going over these notes, just like this video is going over the second half. So the 4th type of text structure that you might see in nonfiction is argument and support. You would see this type of text structure if the text states an opinion or a personal position on an issue and then supports it or backs it up. So this type of text is going to give a person's opinion or their stance, and then will explain why they have that particular opinion. Now, that support can be appealing to our logic, where they provide a whole bunch of factual information, or it can appeal to our emotions, where they try to convince us emotionally why we should agree with them. And we would see these types of texts in editorial articles, which is when a person specifically writes an article to share their opinion, or a persuasive article, perhaps convincing you to do or think something. A mission statement, which is what certain companies do to back up why they do what they do. Speeches or sales texts. Again, they're trying to convince you of something, in this case, to buy something. Some key words that might alert you to a text being argument support would be one reason for, therefore, because, or in order to. And again, these are the types of texts that are trying to convince you that somebody's opinion or something they're trying to sell is the right one or the right choice. So they're trying to change your way of thinking to align with theirs. The 5th type of text structure that you might see in a nonfiction text is compare and contrast. Compare means to look for similarities. Contrast means to look for differences. So in these types of texts, they will focus on 2 or more subjects, and then they're going to show you how they are the same and different. So you might see this in a history textbook, where we look at different events and we see how the events had similarities, but how they're also different. We'll see these in science textbooks, or even in literature textbooks. When we look at different poems or stories, they'll often go into what was the same about these poems or short stories, but how they were different. Writing textbooks has you using this skill, and you'll often see this in news articles where they want to present a topic or two, and they want to show how they are same and different, so showing different sides. So some key words that you might notice in a compare and contrast text would be alike, similar, same. On the other hand, differences, also, in contrast, and to. The final type of text structure that we are going to cover this year is description. And description is used when the text wants to focus on one subject and then simply describes its traits, as in the different parts of it. And in description, the information that they're sharing does not have to be in a particular order. So it is a little bit different than our chronological sequential text structure, because in that type, things have to be in a particular order. In description, the information can be in whatever order the writer wants it to be. You might see this in science textbooks, where they talk about different things in nature and then describe the different parts of them. Or in a sales text, where they want to sell you like a piece of furniture, and so they're going to describe the different features of it to show you its different parts. Medical textbooks, such as learning about the body, or there are articles out there where they don't want to persuade you of anything, they just want to give you information on a particular topic. So they present the topic and they tell you different things about it. So keywords that you might see in description would be looks, like, resembles, includes, or appears to be. That is the final type of text structure that we will be covering in this unit. And if you'd like to review these, remember that in Schoology, there is the link to the nonfiction text structures examples. Yesterday, you could go over the first 3. Today, you can move through and look at examples 4 through 6 and actually see what a compare and contrast looks like, or a text with description, or one with argument and support. That concludes the Day 2 video on nonfiction text structure.